Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the midday market madness. And it's not really madness. It's actually pretty calm and collected, and things are doing all right. Um, some specific companies that we'll talk about, some risk on names right now, are actually doing quite well right now. A lot of green. Let's go ahead and have a look. First up, the SPY, although opening in a completely different situation, obviously with everything that's going on in Iran, markets usually tend to see some not so green days whenever a potential war conflict is started. That being said, the SPY today is actually green, up 0.2%. Names specifically like Figure and Venture Global, high percentages up. Obviously, VG ended up showing off earnings today, massive EPS beat, along with some overall just benefits due to the Iranian conflict. They're up 15.5%. Circle seeing some recovery here, even past their most recent run up. So this was earnings. They ended up popping on earnings, or actually maybe this was earnings. Earnings ended up popping. Then they started to sell off from there. This morning popped up to another high, not 52-week high, not an all-time high, but a recent, like a local high. So Circle seeing a lot of attention here as well. BM&R ended up showing off another weekly update. They now have staked ETH, which stayed flat, 3 million staked ETH. They now hold 3.71% of the total Ethereum supply. They have roughly $9.9 billion in total holdings, which is much lower than what we've seen previously. And they are right at the 1 times MNAV on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, if that goes up, BM&R is likely to trail up with it. So keep an eye on Ethereum's overall pricing to see if BM&R is going to go up, but that's really what we're tracking. That along with Bitcoin as well, also seeing a nice 5% run up today as well. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Parsival buying Microsoft, AMD, and Hood today. Those are some pretty good names to be buying. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. I ended up seeing a lot of comments. I put out a video on NVIDIA today, or sorry, yesterday. Over the weekend, we sort of went into some pretty unbelievable lows. 24-hour markets ended up showing the stock at around $173. It was, pure despair. Everyone, like I saw a member of this channel who's been following my comments and everything for probably around 2 years. And they said, they put a comment under the video that said, you know what? I've had enough. I'm selling out of NVIDIA stock. And I get that, if you've made a lot of money, you don't want to risk that. But one of the reasons why they said that they're selling is because it's been flat over the last 6 months. Okay. Well, essentially raising their earnings like 38% or something like this. So I think that there's 2 types of companies that we should maybe highlight. One is like the companies like PayPal, which we had a thesis. This was a while ago, but we had a thesis for PayPal, and we thought the stock was cheap, but we also believed that earnings were going to turn around, and neither of those things happened. And whenever we saw that earnings weren't turning around, we initially dropped that company in Q4 of 2024 whenever we saw guidance for 2025. Okay. And 2025 guidance ended up not showing a reacceleration. Alex Chris was saying this was a growth company, but the reacceleration showed that guidance was only looking to grow at 3 to 5%. So things were not adding up. Okay. However, NVIDIA is showing off better than expected earnings. So the stock is not doing what we want to do, but guidance was higher than every single institution on Wall Street could have ever imagined. The highest, the most bullish person on Wall Street said guide was going to come in at 77 billion. It came in at 78 billion. Without including China sales, and also not including the beat on revenue, which is what I also expect, considering that they've done that 16 out of the last 17 quarters. So many, many years of continuous beats of guidance, and that's currently set at $78 billion. Okay. That's not the company that you sell whenever we're down the most. What happened to buy high or buy high, buy low, sell high? Not, buy a company, it stays flat and then sell because what? Okay, it's not working out. Where are you buying in this market? What, you prefer to hold Adobe or some of the software names? Like it's not like NVIDIA is underperforming alone in a vacuum. There's a lot of risk on names, AI software names, like high beta stocks that are all underperforming what they're putting up in their earnings. This is the market we're in. What are you looking to do? Sell low and hold cash? I mean, it can work, but you might even you've already waited too long. Companies are down, 40, 50%. I don't know. So yeah. Buy high, sell higher. I mean, for really great companies, that is the expectation. What's up with Nebius? Nothing's up with Nebius. This is just the market that we're in. CoreWeave ended up getting sold off. I thought Tevis put out this really funny clip. There was an old David Dobrik clip of this guy who pulls a car up next to this person that I guess they had road rage with. And he looks to the person in the back seat and he's like, where the heck were you going? Is this how you drive? And he's like, I'm in the back seat. Then he calls him, a bunch of profanities and drives off. But, Nebius was the person in the back seat. You should be mad at CoreWeave, but this is the market. We're irrational right now, and that's okay. That's okay. What's not okay is whenever you act irrational because the rest of the market's acting irrational. That's when it becomes not okay. I ended up posting this tweet. Now, I posted this tweet. It was a quote by Ben Horowitz because I'm reading the book Hard Things About Hard Things. This one. But what's so funny? I bought it again. I knew it was there, but I don't like reading books anymore. So I bought it again to have it on Audible and on Kindle. So yeah, that remains unread. But there was this quote that I ended up bringing up that I absolutely love that was said in the book. I thought this was amazing. I thought about NVIDIA here. Markets aren't efficient at finding the truth. They're just very efficient at converging on a conclusion, and often that's the wrong conclusion. That's absolutely what is happening with, at least from my opinion. I should state, this is my opinion. I could be wrong, but I do not feel like I'm wrong whenever I'm looking at a company that in 6 months will be the most profitable, most free cash flow positive, fastest growing company ever in history. And then people are selling that off because they believe there's there's going to be some certain market dynamic of a slowdown in build, a more preference on XPUs and custom silicon rather than NVIDIA hardware. And we've seen no evidence of that. Meta just ended up canceling their custom chips. NVIDIA ended up acquiring, it's not an acquisition, but it was an acquisition type thing with Grok. So they are looking to put out custom chips that will benefit inference. These are the rumors that are going to be coming out for GTC, where OpenAI is going to be their biggest customer. All of this stuff is only pushing the narrative that NVIDIA is going to be around for a much longer time than people suspect. That's at least what I believe. So whenever I'm buying this company at a 19.4 times price to earnings or whatever it was as a Friday night, I'm like, and then people go, oh, well, that means that they're going to make this much earnings over 19 years. That's a long time for a cyclical name. One, okay, that's factoring in no growth. The rest of the S&P 500, which many of them are also cyclical and have problems of whether or not they're going to be relevant and everything like this, have price to earnings at 30 times is the average practically on the S&P 500. I could also check that, but so let's check really quickly. First of all, the Shiller PE is at 40 times, but the general price to the general S&P 500 PE right now is 29.55 times, and the average growth is in single digits. Single digits. But you're going to give the company that is in Q1 going to grow by 80%, a 19 times forward PE. Well, this is not forward, but even this NVIDIA has a PE of 35 times or something like this. And then for next quarter after that, in Q2, they're expected to grow at 100%. 100%? What are we talking about? People are saying Noto news. Is there Noto news? Is there Noto news? If you guys are talking about like a potential, did Noto end up purchasing shares of SoFi? We don't know yet. So it's hard to say, hey, did he purchase? Well, his opening ability to purchase was today, but then he has to also announce that he's purchased. So, for example, Jared Isaacman, we found out that he purchased today. Like I posted the insider purchase of Jared Isaacman, founder of Shift4, put out a Form 4 saying that he purchased. However, the actual purchases happened on February 26th and February 27th. So we're noticing today that he ended up purchasing, but this was days ago. Okay. Thursday and Friday, and then we end up seeing it on Monday. So it could be that Noto, if he did purchase, is tomorrow. It also could be that he didn't purchase, in which maybe he has a acquisition. So no Noto news just yet. I'll be the first one to let you guys know, though. If Tanner moves his camera angle, he might just disappear. What does that mean? Are you saying I'm just white? It's just pure white? Is that what you're saying? If I was over here, like back before I had the panels, that I just wasn't on screen? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, everyone is asking, did Noto buy? It's way too early to know. Way too early. I promise you guys it would be in the title. Okay. Hey, Tanner, what's your favorite investing book that you've read? I don't know if I could pin it down to one singular book that's my favorite. I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of Peter Lynch. I think maybe that set a lot of my beliefs just generally, that like I'm not a big believer in some of the technicals or following the macro too closely. And in fact, you just need to focus on buying the best companies, and that you have to realize that sometimes markets go down. I know it's not that simple and simplistic, but I do like defaulting to that type of notion. Noto seems to be in high spirits, by the way, about people joking about whether or not he purchased. Ken and Megan ended up saying that it happened. Anthony Noto just bought a coffee, and they have Noto here with a coffee. But Anthony said, funny, where did you find this photo? So he's fully aware that people are paying very close attention to whether or not he's buying stock. Tanner, when's the next meetup? I got flights to book, bro. I'm looking to do one myself in Toronto in August. That's the hope. Do I have a location? Do I have an exact time? No, 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 no. Have I even looked? No, 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 no. Across the board. Okay. Um, Here's what I will tell you about the future investing brand right now and the future of the channel. I'm looking to hire on a full-time employee. I have someone in mind. Um, I sort of want like a little bit of a, like if you think about like the Joe Rogan type thing, like I need a Jamie, you know, I need someone that's just going to help with all all the admin stuff. I don't want to focus on, um, you know, all the administrative stuff. Now this is what's so funny is people say get an AI agent, Claude bot, all of this stuff. I actually think the answer to that is no. I was talking about this in the live stream before. It's not that I don't want AI agents. You guys know full well that I'm full focus. I think that that's going to be 1000% the way that everyone goes. But I think that whenever you have such a high margin business like YouTube is, but like if you look to the highest margin business, right? Like Google, right? Google search is by far the highest margin business that you can find. If you actually look at their margins, they're not that high. Why? Because they offer so many services to expand and grow their product faster. So you see them end up offering Google Chrome for free, right? You end up seeing them offer Google Sheets and Drive and Google Email, like Gmail, all for free. Everyone takes it so for granted. How could they possibly sell, give me personalized advertisements, but how dare you take away Chrome and all of this stuff that, honestly, the one product is paying for everything else. But they do that all to go back to Google search, right? Build up the overall brand. And what I want to do is hire someone on. And I don't know, maybe it'll be one of you guys. I'm not necessarily 1000% dedicated to who it might be. However, like I am pretty set on who, like I've been talking with them. I want to introduce them to you guys. They're going to become a big part of the community. But I don't think the person who wins or like the future investing brand wins with me having these high margins and everything like this. What I actually think it is higher quality, better production, better community management, them helping me make all of the AI agents. And I actually think I'm going to hire somebody who might actually not be capable in every single aspect of what I need them to do today. But because AI agents are there, like the person that I have in mind is, extremely smart, but graphically talented and all of these things. But would I trust him to write professional emails for outreach and all of these things and dealing with brands? Probably not, but I would trust AI to do that. So can I trust him to learn the process of saying, hey, I need you to write emails in the voice of 10 or like something like this to reach out to these customers, to reach out to these people? Absolutely. And I actually think right now, because artificial intelligence is going where it is, there's actually going to be a rise in hiring, especially for more entry-level jobs, because I feel like these people are going to be more capable now because they have all these tool-assisted, things that they could be doing. So people are saying, get an AI agent and create all these bots and do all this stuff. I don't want to maintain that. Everything that I'm doing, like I want to be in front of the camera. I want to be talking. I don't want to be, doing that sort of stuff. And it's going to slow me down. So, while I think artificial intelligence and AI agents are 1000% real and are only going to accelerate work, I actually think just two of us focused on that sort of stuff is going to go even faster. Get Dario sounds like he needs work. That's very, very freaking funny. Brian, that's funny. The new employee is definitely going to come with Anthropic. Don't you worry. I'm going to get them on like Perplexity Computer and all of this stuff, but like that's all going to, yeah. I can't be an employee at any moment. An Iranian missile can kill me. Well, honestly, that is an insanely sad comment to read, and hopefully everyone is staying safe if you guys are anywhere in that region. It's actually crazy. That is somewhat some people's. I've even seen it on X, like people that are even remotely in the area, Dubai and stuff like this, where they are like fearful of their life and they're hanging out in like parking garages and stuff like this to, um, take care of themselves. It's not a situation that I've been a part of. Um, and God forbid, knock on wood, that never happens. But it's crazy that is, um, yeah, very, very sad. um, hey, what if I'm deaf? I can't hear and no captions. That's more of a live stream problem. Um, but that's the thing, right? Is there's so many things like you guys ask for chapters, live chapters, community moderation, like all of that stuff. I just need help with. That's what my quote unquote Jamie is going to help with. If you guys think that can be you, please email me. I have an email here. You guys can reach out if you guys think that I am pretty set on who I'm hiring. But yeah. Thoughts on SoFi? SoFi seems very cheap right now. I don't have any new thoughts about SoFi. Like some people, like they watch a stock fall and fall and fall, and they're like, okay, what do you think now? And what do you think now? What do you think now? I'm like, it's an amazing opportunity. And the cheaper it gets, the more interesting it looks. Apply, but don't apply. Yeah, I know. I know. But hopefully all you guys end up meeting whoever it is that I'm going to be hiring and that they become a good part of the community. Okay. What's the salary? What are you buying? How much do you want? What can you offer? I know what the salary is for the person that I'm hiring. We've already discussed it. But yeah. And even that, like, I'm excited to, I think, a lot of this is going into like AI and people are more worried about what their Claude skills and open claw skills are rather than their own skills. But like, as a manager, I'm excited to learn how to delegate. Like, I've never, like here in Canada, which is where the person that I'm hiring, which it would, by the way, if you guys are applying, 1,000% better if you're from Toronto or the GTA area, in case that we need to meet up. That being said, I've never paid out, like for Canada, you have to pay CPP and EI and vacation pay and all of this stuff. It's just a new, like I'm hiring them on as a full employee, not a, independent contractor or something like this. So I'm just excited to see what that process looks like and just learn a ton. You're hiring a MITS assistant? Jess is amazing. But there's not too many clients that she can. I want someone for 40 hours a week, full time. Yeah. Bro, hire from Portugal, way cheaper. Everyone keeps saying this. Like, I actually think, like, oh, dude, you need an AI agent. You need to go to the Philippines. You need to go to all of these places to go hire someone for the cheapest rate. I am looking for, like a really quality high. Think of like Graham Stephan, his Jack I'm looking for Jack. I'm looking for Jamie. I'm not looking to save money. Like, obviously it needs to make financial sense, but like this whole idea of like hire a whole team out of the Philippines for $600 a month. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't think that is what builds community. I don't like, it's not the industry that I'm in. If I was an insurance carrier, I would, go to Bangalore and set up an entire thing of people, because there's no feel to that. There's no need for community. But in this thing, I'm building, like the person that I'm hiring, I want you guys to meet, I want you to shake their hands, see how cool of I want them to become a part of the team. I want the Future Investing brand to be more than just Tanner. Like this is going to be a team. I want a partner. Exactly. What do you have against Filipino? I mean, if you're in Toronto and you're Filipino, 1,000%, like you could be. Don't make this a racist comment. What I'm saying is I'm not looking for virtual assistants that are going to just essentially try to fulfill a goal. Okay. If I wanted that, I'd set up AI agents and just, do that sort of stuff. Tevis is too expensive. I can't afford him. I know how much Tevis makes at his actual job. I can't afford to pay for, another millionaire or something like this. He doesn't care. Okay. Wasn't expecting a Bangalore shout out. Shout out, guys. All I mean is like that thing of like offshoring a bunch of work to people that are looking for gig work. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think it fits into what I'm looking for. I'm not going on Upwork to look for my employee. I want like a good community match. All right. Done with that. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm looking to potentially onboard by potentially April 1st. That's the hope. Or maybe April 2nd, so people don't think, you don't think it's like a April Fool's thing. I know we did roughly just talk about this, but I do want to bring it up just in case I didn't highlight this. Jared Isaacman doubles down on Shift 4. Ended up buying another 300,000 shares of this company, now bringing up his total stake. He's the largest shareholder in the entire company. By the way, he's the founder. Just purchased another, 16 million? $13.6 million. And now he has 23 million shares of this company. He is not believing in this dip. All right. Not believing. It's just whether or not you're a believer. Wix. We need to talk about Wix here. Wix ended up going up an additional 5.86%, $74.59 off the back of another report. Wix launches an app in ChatGPT for website creation. So a new partnership with ChatGPT. Very exciting. This is on the back of, hopefully continuous growth on the core business, but also Base 44, which I have not used Base 44 since trying Perplexity Computer. I ended up getting Perplexity Computer. I've been trying that out. It's unbelievable. It's crazy, dude. I like AI tools. I don't know where we go 18 months from now, 2 years from now. But if this is where we are today, where you can end up essentially like typing in something like that. This is one of the prompts that I gave it. I said, hey, every Monday at 9 a.m. whenever BM&R updates their holdings, update this spreadsheet. So I gave them access to my Google Drive and my Google Sheets. And I said, update my spreadsheet and update all the charts and everything for the ETH holdings, the moonshots, the cash, the everything. So now all the spreadsheets that I used to just manually plug, and it would take me no time at all, but now it just automatically reruns every Monday. It was a prompt or two. Okay. I asked it to make me this new sentiment website for SoFi and Robinhood. Scrape all of Reddit and tell me whenever people are talking about SoFi loans, SoFi Relay, SoFi credit cards. Give me all of the sentiment and make these into sort of a web page that I can end up tracking. Include Google Trends and app downloads and all of this stuff. And here it is. There you go. Like it just finds it now. Is it 100% without hallucinations? No. But can you fiddle with it enough to make it, pretty seamless? Absolutely. And it does concern me about some of these apps, not like the Salesforce and the Workdays and stuff like this, but stuff like Whale Wisdom, where like they're charging for premium for information that is like legally free access. If Whale Wisdom was a company, I'd say they're going to zero. Like, I mean, it would be free to replicate because all of that stuff is in SEC filings and it's all public information. So anything that's like very, very widely public information, you'll just be able to say, hey, create me an app and copy exactly what that looks like. Guaranteed Jared Isaacman purchased or will purchase again within the next 3 days. Guaranteed, eh? MD says it's guaranteed. I don't know if I'm that confident, but that would be quite exciting if he did. He did end up purchasing 2 different times, right? So the 46th and the 47th, maybe he could be looking to get more on Monday as well. Don't use OpenClaw on your main PC, by the way. There's an exploit right now that hackers are taking advantage of. Best to run it on a workstation or cluster. Yes, I've heard of this too, just also not even for hackers, but also just the AI in general, just making a mistake. Maybe there is an exploit, but I've also seen just people being like, hey, manage XYZ. And they're like, okay, well, to best manage that, we're going to delete system 32. It is probably best to run it. That's why the Mac Mini situation and all of that has become so popularized. That being said, Perplexity Computer has worked great for me so far. If Nodo buys, SoFi will be heading to $40 soon. If Nodo doesn't buy, we're still headed to $40 soon. So relax. Okay. I was going to say, if Nodo buys, we are not just headed to $40 for that news. I actually think that it's not going to be very important. It's just a nice sentiment, right? It would be a cluster buy with the other EVPs that have recently purchased. That's nice. But I actually don't think it's going to have much impact on the stock. You even see like Shift 4, like although it is up today, like at the time that we found out this news, it really didn't impact the stock. Stock's now running up, but yeah. Any predictions for S&P 500 inclusion on Friday? Honestly, I think the one that I'm most confident in getting in, although people would want me to say SoFi, it's probably Vertiv. Vertiv is so much bigger. They're so important for the economy. $97 billion market cap. They're still not in. They're growing gangbusters. They're profitable. They're most likely getting in. Okay. Yeah, Jared bought 16 million at $80 as well. So I don't necessarily think. Does Perplexity Computer run 24/7 tasks? Thanks. I mean, it probably could. I mean, it's running a bunch of things in the background when I'm not using it, but you're also limited by your tokens, right? So it can get a lot more expensive. I think the actual $200 a month or whatever they charge is only for about like 10,000 tokens. And on the few projects that I've already run through it on, I've probably ran through close to 20%. Like whenever I gave it that, what was my initial thing? Create an app that tracks SoFi product updates and user sentiment on Reddit, website traffic, app downloads, Google Trends across several of SoFi's products. And then it said, hey, you know what? We need clarification. Whenever you say SoFi products, do you mean SoFi Invest, SoFi Money, SoFi Loan? I was like, yes. But that one I think was like, a good percentage of the overall tokens that I was allocated for the month. But it was running. It was like a task that ran for like 30 minutes. Okay. Let's have a listen to this NVIDIA quote that just passed my desk. However, we've already seen this. This is from Larry Fink, I'm pretty sure, and Jensen Huang, but might also be good to listen to this for today as well.
Everybody's seeing it right now, has started the largest infrastructure build out in human history. We're now a few $100 billion into it. That's it. We're a few $100 billion into it. Larry and I, we get the opportunity to work on many projects together. There are trillions of dollars of infrastructure that needs to be built out. And it's sensible. It's sensible because all of these contexts have to be processed so that the AI, so that the models can generate the intelligence necessary to power the applications that ultimately sit on top. And so when you go back and when you reason about it layer by layer by layer, and you realize that the energy sector is now seeing extraordinary growth. The chip sector, TSMC just announced they're going to build 20 new chip plants. Foxconn working with us, and Wistron and Quanta building 30 new computer plants, which then go into these AI factories. So we have chip factories, computer factories, and AI factories all being built around the world.
And memory.
And memory, right, exactly.
Very interesting here. SoFi needs to stay above $22.7 billion market cap. Yeah, but I don't think that it has to stay above that at the time that they actually enter the S&P. From what I found, I think someone said that it was like the date is actually 5 weeks before the inclusion, which I think SoFi was above 22.7 during that time. I'm so worried about my NVIDIA, AMD, and TSMC positions. I don't even know how you could be. Why are you so worried about your AMD, NVIDIA, and TSMC positions? Unless you're being sarcastic. These are like the one positions that I feel the most concrete about. Did you see investments in Light and Coherent? Yes. And I'm 100% behind this. I think there's going to be a ton of this, continuous reporting where people are like, where are they getting this money? They have to do this in order to continue this circular financing and everything. No, I don't believe it. I think that this is the best type of investing that you can possibly do is have a venture arm on your company that is investing in companies that you know are going to go up because you are going to be buying billions and billions and billions of dollars of their product. So then you can turn back around after buying all the common shares of those businesses and then almost guarantee their success because you're their biggest customer. It's like they're actually cheating. This should almost be illegal. And people are worried about it. I'm like, no, they're just guaranteeing that those companies stay strong and that they actually prioritize NVIDIA for whenever they, need more components. And then they're also going to have those customers help design those products specifically for NVIDIA's needs. So they're going to help shape and co-design products with light and coherent and these sort of things, and just say, hey, like, your photonic components need to fit the way that we want them to, and we're going to end up buying a gazillion dollars of your product if you end up doing that. And by the way, we're also going to take common shares, so we also benefit from those investments. They're getting double bubble. Maybe people shouldn't. They probably don't like me saying double bubble. I'm saying that more in terms of the UK type saying, in terms of they're going to get paid twice, not that there's a bubble. I got to watch my tongue around these, live streams. People quote me out of context. Tanner said it was a bubble. Yo, just started getting into your videos. Do you have any thoughts on SoundHound? So I haven't seen their most recent earnings. I don't know if the sentiment on SoundHound is turning around. I just didn't know what makes them so strong whenever there's like OpenAI and Anthropic and all of these other companies, Gemini, that can end up offering voice-based solutions. Like, I just don't understand how they stand out versus an 11 Labs or a Gemini or any of the actual AI labs offering, Wendy's way to make their drive-through based off their menu. Like, I don't even think it's a hard solution that they're solving. That's just my opinion. Okay. SoFi or Nebius? I think the one with the lower risk is SoFi. I think the one with the higher risk, higher reward is Nebius. It's hard to not be a believer in Apple's private cloud compute is reportedly averaging only 10% utilization, with some AI servers sitting idle in warehouses as Apple Intelligence usage is not up to expectations. Furthermore, information is reporting that Apple is currently in advanced talks to run next-gen Siri models on Google-run servers inside of Google data centers under Apple privacy rules. Wow, I can't tell you how much Apple is going to fall behind. My opinion. A whole lot of bad PR for SoFi that I've been seeing on Reddit lately. Like what? Like what? A $10 credit card cap for a small bit of users, and they said that that's fully done and won't continue. Just check the market for today. I thought we were supposed to be at 0 by now. I know, it is crazy. Just when you expect more red, we end up seeing green. And then tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, okay, well, we're expected to see more green now, and it's going to revert back to red. Small bit of users must not be a user. I mean, it is a small bit of users. They even said it's practically a nominal amount. It's just loud, a loud minority. Okay. Tanner, thoughts on Anthropic losing the government contract? I mean, that's their decision. They made their own bed. If they want to have strong morals and say, hey, you know what, the government can't use our product for XYZ or something like this, they're free to do that. I'm not mad at Anthropic, but you also can't be mad at the government for saying, okay, then we're not going to use you. We're going to go use a different vendor. Yeah, I think that it's not good that there's negative sentiment on whether or not companies can use one AI lab versus the other, because you need all of them to be doing well in order to see the strongest level of competition. But then you ended up seeing them skyrocket in the app rankings, which ended up showing that they will be fine and they're going to grow a lot on the consumer side as well. Okay, let's see. The people complaining about the $10 are the exact same people who splurge on Netflix. Well, I do think that like it makes the card not viable compared to the competition. Like, well, I don't think that the $10 is like something that is crazy high. Whenever the alternatives is that you can go to Robinhood and get 3% for no fee, or the same fee that you'd pay to have Robinhood Gold, which is still half the amount, then it really doesn't make it accessible. But I wouldn't also say that SoFi is having a ton of bad PR right now. It's not showing up anywhere in the data. There's more customers coming onto SoFi every day than ever before. We saw that from the January. This happened after, right? The January traffic for SoFi was way higher than any other month that we've ever seen. And just in February, we'll likely end up sharing that same sentiment, even though it's only 28 days. So we need to look at it on a per day basis. But yeah. Okay. I like how everyone in the chat, like some people have like specific things that they want me to push or talk about. What I need to talk about is the fact that I'm not drinking McDonald's today. I'm drinking Starbucks. This coffee, probably $20. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I actually think it's like the cheapest product that you can buy there is a black coffee. I still don't know how much it is, but crazy, man, that they make you pay so much at that place. I would not invest in Starbucks. I think the whole experience is absolutely crap. You come around, you pay the most, and then they're like, oh, by the way, like I know you're in a drive-through and we do the exact same job that every single other person does and get paid probably even more, but would you like the tip? I'm like, you didn't even like you're just handing me a drink outside of a window. We talked through a computer. You didn't even do anything. The coffee's not better. It's just like it's a terrible customer experience, I find, is Starbucks. Now, in the store, I do think is like they can be much nicer. They can, you can be on your computer. They come by, hey, do you want a refill? Like I understand there's a reason for tip culture to exist in the actual thing. You're sitting down, people are coming by, they're working to make sure that you're satisfied. That's tip worthy. But a freaking drive-through tip, what did you even do? You did your job. Yeah, you got an hourly pay. That's what you but my girlfriend wanted a brown sugar oat shaken espresso or whatever, or espresso. So I'm here stuck with an $8 coffee. They literally make you a custom drink if you want. Go to anything, like every fast food joint everywhere is like, have it your way. Do you tip the Subway guy that picks it however you want? The McDonald's person that you say, hey, I don't want pickles, I want onions, and do they ask you to tip? Like it's just it's just the job. Okay. And I'm not even anti tip. Like I do tip, but like Do it for an experience. Like, that this person came over to my table and asked me if everything was okay. And they, I don't like a good experience. They made us feel welcome and told us the cool things on the menu and what's good. That's tip worthy. Like, okay, here's your order. Here's your black coffee. Here's a prompt on the thing. Do you tip your DoorDash? Of course. Of course. And especially whenever it's bad weather. Like if it's bad weather and I don't want to drive and like you do Uber, it's like, okay, yeah, you're definitely getting tipped. Like, I tip contractors. Yeah, I was thinking like I tip my dentist. Any job that I can't do, I can't do fillings myself, so you got to tip the dentist. Okay. If anything, tipping is perpetuating slavery. Look at the origin of tip. I get. I don't even get that. I don't know what you're referring to, but I don't like whenever people are like, "Hey, look at this thing," and then let's go back to the 400-year-old origin of it, and that's what it still means today. It's like, bro, it does not mean that. It's just, no one is like, yeah, I like slavery. I'm perpetuating that by tipping. Like that is a reach. All the new people who just came into the stream are like, what the is he talking about? Okay, let's go ahead and look at the markets. HIMS is almost up 10%. Air Test Systems up 9.3, SharpLink up 9, BM&R up 8.3%. 8.3%, but yet Ethereum is only up 4.6%. Nodo did not buy yet that I'm aware of. Let me. No, he's not purchased yet. And that's if he even purchases. He might end up not purchasing, think we're going slightly lower. Okay, wait, let's see what this is. Wix just posted this. I'm going to mute the sound, so hopefully that's not important. Create your own website with Wix Harmony straight from ChatGPT. Hey, Wix. Create an immersive website for Runcore that captures the revolution. Oh, okay, that's skipped. I can't read that. That's going too fast. Something mobile first, run your city, something. Black background with neo green accents and a hero that says run your city with a dynamic running motion, kinetic, sporty, and mobile first. That is crazy. Wow. That looks amazing. ChatGPT and Wix. Do you tip your stockbroker? You got to tip the stockbroker. Okay. That looks great from Wix today. Let's see what else is in the notes here as well. Biggest day for Claude app downloads in history by far. Take a look at this. So this was after the sort of anthropic fallout between them and the Department of War, and now many of the other departments that we end up seeing. Massive, massive spike up in downloads. Not only was it already sort of blowing up from the recent OpenClaw news and everything like this, which just ended up seeing like overall downloads just like quadruple. We ended up seeing like almost another doubling from there. very interesting. All of the top apps on the App Store, all AI names. Gemini, OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic. All of these are the biggest names in the app stores these days. Wild time to be alive. Okay. Let's see what else. SoFi up 2.4 percent, still extremely low. I mean, we're $18.20. Nothing to celebrate, but nice little recovery here. Same from Nvidia. Chime also seeing up 2.5%, $22.68. Nubank up 1.9%, $15 stock price as of today. It's crazy because you end up seeing a little bit of green, but yet these companies are still extremely cheap versus where we were not long ago. Yeah. And then let's check the Qs. Oh, the Qs just turned red. Uh-oh. SPY just turned red as well. General markets are down. Walmart in the red. IREN in the red. Shark Ninja. Lithium Americas. Fair Isaac Corporation. Tesla in the red. What else do we have? JP Morgan and IBM down under 1%. AppLovin down. Let's see what is really bleeding off today. Let's head to the bottom here. Beyond Meat down 11%. Norwegian Cruise Lines down 10%. Elf Beauty down 10%. Now down to $82.84. Carnival, many of the cruise lines ended up getting hit. Anyway, there was a bad joke I had about the Strait of Hormuz, but that is probably insensitive. Silver is down 5.4%. Canopy Growth Corporation down 4%. QXO down another 4.4%. The Sphere is down 3.8%. The Sphere's catching some sell-offs today. That's crazy. Home Depot and Adyen, Roblox, all down roughly 2.8%. Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Where's gold today? Up 0.9. Silver is down 5.3. What's going on here? Just catching up. Starbucks coffee is way better than McDonald's coffee. You need to check yourself right now. McDonald's coffee is fine. Okay. For earnings today, earnings in the after hours, we have Dave, ASTS, Big Bear AI, Archer, Credo, MongoDB, Plug Power, Stoned Co. There's a ton of names this Monday. Holy. That's after showing off Norwegian Cruise Lines and VG and everything in the morning. Wow, Norwegian Cruise Lines down 10%. Revenue only missed by 4%, but EPS ended up beating by 12%. Do we go live to listen to Dave's earnings call? Should be quite interesting. They've been dominating lately. Larger and larger beats on EPS, larger and larger beats on revenue than anyone could have ever have expected. This company is not one that I follow very closely, but maybe I should be. Maybe that's a massive mistake, is me not paying attention to Dave. Look at this too. This company has gone such a long way. At one point, trading at $4 a share, now $200. But we've seen it at some pretty hefty prices in the past. They continue to dominate, though, growing at very, very high rates of growth. I think they're growing at like 60+%, if I'm not mistaken. Last quarter, they ended up beating on revenue by 13, nearly 14%. EPS beat by 104% for Dave. Incredible business. Crazy. You should listen to ASTS. Yeah, I just don't know as much about ASTS. I'm sure there's better people than myself talking about some of these software names. By the way, overall SaaS up roughly 1.5% today. I think a decent 5-day run up overall. That's quite great to see. Maybe the catalyst we needed was Anthropic getting kicked out of the Department of War. That would put a nice boost into, Workday and Salesforce and all of these things. Yes, ban them. Don't allow them on government contracts. Okay. Dave uses Galileo. It's true. So you should be excited about if they do well. Tanner, what did you have for lunch? Currently, I have a French bread pizza in the oven. That's awesome. I haven't eaten lunch yet. By the way, I don't know what it is about Chipotle. First of all, I know ChargePoint. What the heck is Chipotle's thing? I don't even know. Oh, it's CMG. Yeah. Chipotle Mexican Grill. Everyone is crazy on this name. Okay. I said that I ate at Chipotle recently, and they're like, oh, I guess you like $30, burrito bowls. I don't know if it's different pricing depending because I'm in Canada, but this might literally be the cheapest place to eat in existence. I went there. So Canadian dollars, a full bowl, like chicken bowl, everything on it. The guac, I think, is an extra $2, $3, whatever. But it's, an unbelievable amount. It was like $15 for a bowl Canadian. That's like $10 for you guys. It's so cheap. It's more expensive to go to any other. It's more expensive to go to freaking I don't know if you guys would even know any of the local spots, but or if they're large chains or not. But here in Canada, there's a couple other places you can get burrito bowls. They're the exact same price, if not cheaper or more expensive than Chipotle. And yet the food is way better. Almost $30 on DoorDash. Yeah, but that's DoorDash. You're adding other things I'm not talking about. Go into the store. It's cheap as ever. Yeah, so that's the one I was going to bring up. I don't know if you guys know Bar Burrito, but this is a big one here in Canada. They'll make you like a burrito bowl. It's way more expensive than $12 or whatever it is for a chicken burrito. You don't get nearly as much, not nearly as high quality. It's all crap. It's like, what would you prefer to eat at, Chipotle or Taco Bell? Like, what are we talking about? Everyone's like, yeah, enjoy your $30 meal. I'm like, yeah, $30 to feed 3 people. It's cheap. Tanner's got too much money. It's not. I'm trying to save you money. Where do you eat that's cheaper? Bar Burrito is low-key fire. It's good, but I don't personally like it compared to Chipotle. Okay, someone ban that guy. Cook for $5 each? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That took you an hour to do. No. The goal is not to cook. I'm just saying, where do you eat that's cheap? Okay. Let's see. Ooh, Notion just put out a thing. What did Notion just put out? Is this about the AI agents? Okay, wait, let's listen to this. This might, I don't know. This might get me banned. I don't know if they're using music I'm not allowed to use. Okay. Let's see what else. We talked about the Google and Apple story, which obviously I think is very bullish for Google. Xiaomi ended up deploying humanoid bots in their EV assembly plant, adding momentum to their factory robotic race against Tesla Optimus. Now, 90% success rate is not super great. But if you end up looking at the success rate of, AI agents and stuff like this, they are improving on a week-to-week basis. Is this going to be improving on a week-to-week basis? Are they going to get more efficient? This could be quite exciting. And think about these guys if we end up having not 2, but overall thousands of these. With all the robotics arms and everything all using artificial intelligence, the software is all agentic AI processes, and then we have robots that are doing that part. I'm pretty excited about where the future is going. It's all quite very futuristic. And it leads back into NVIDIA, right? Onboard chips from NVIDIA for humanoids. You have the data centers where they send the information back to that NVIDIA is doing very well on. We'll see if they can continue to sell their products and grow on revenues and earnings. Treasury is terminating all Anthropic products. Federal Housing, Fannie and Freddie ending Anthropic use. We will see. There was are you guys bullish on NVIDIA, or is it just me? I never know. I think sometimes the people who agree stay very quiet, at least for the most part. Let's start a poll. Is NVIDIA undervalued at 180? Yes or no? Let's start a poll. I want to know. It's just you and Amit. It's half of my portfolio. NVIDIA 300 in 12 months. NVIDIA is too big. AMD has more upside. Well, I don't even disagree with you in terms of which one has a higher upside. But I think it's, risk reward. Obviously, you can look at the market cap and say, hey, one's smaller. But then you can go ahead and pick an even smaller name and say, hey, this company is a $20 billion chip provider. Hey, I want to buy the memory names. They're even smaller than that. I don't know. I think that only tells really one side of the story. Okay, let's see what the videos that people are covering. It's almost exclusively about the Iranian conflict here. Let's see. Former UK Treasury Minister Jim O'Neill on biggest energy risks amid geopolitical turmoil. Yeah, why don't we end up seeing that? Or former Defense Secretary Mark Esper says U.S. made the right decision on Iran. What do you guys think? Do you guys, obviously, we've seen the polls about entering the United States and entering Iran as the United States was the right decision. But how are you guys thinking about it? Not amid.
The former regime had every chance to make a peaceful and sensible deal. But Tehran was not negotiating. They were stalling, buying time to reload their missile stockpiles and restart their nuclear ambitions. Their goal, hold us hostage, threatening to strike our forces.
That was the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, this morning, insisting that Iran had the opportunity to make a deal before the U.S. and Israel launched strikes on that country on Saturday. let's bring in a former defense secretary, Mark Esper. He served during President Trump's first term. Good to have you, Mark. First off, let me just get your reaction, obviously, to the strikes themselves and the ongoing combat. Do you agree with the decision to go to war?
Well, good morning. And the answer is yes. I think it was the right decision to go. I think it's been very successful so far, over 2,000 sorties. And it now appears, at least General Kane said this morning, that the United States and Israel have air superiority over Iran, which means they can pretty much do whatever they want with some concern. So I think that is ongoing. We obviously see that they're taking down ballistic missiles, more importantly, the missile launchers. They've attacked the Navy, IRGC Navy, and most notably, of course, is the decapitation strike, which took out the Ayatollah and many members of the defense chain of command and other key players in the in Iran. So I think it was a strategic opportunity to take down this regime who clearly had no ambition or no willingness to give up their nuclear ambitions, and were indeed rebuilding their weapon stockpiles, their air defenses, and trying to procure the same from both Russia and China. So given the opportunity, I thought it was the right move.
Yeah. I mean, it seems certain that this will deplete, if not eliminate, their ability to obviously wage war to a certain extent, and or also embolden any of their potential allies, so to speak, in the region, that's this being Iran, to do the same. But I wonder, what are your expectations over a period of time, right? What are your expectations, though, for the longer-term goal? One would hope that there would be significant regime change that would change the entire orientation of the country itself.
Yeah, that's one of two or three really key questions here. Look, clearly you can't affect regime change from the outside, let alone through air power alone. What we can do, of course, is set the conditions for which the Iranian people might have more space to rise up. And one of the things that we could do, or maybe have already started doing, is not just attack the IRGC leadership, but go after their barracks, go after their nodes of power, their communication systems, attack the Basij. These are the motorcycle thugs in every city, town, and square in Iran. So if you could kind of suppress them some, then you give the Iranian people some room. But the bigger question is this, and that is, what happens in the ongoing days? We, being the United States and Israel, will continue to take down and degrade Iran's capabilities. That is doable. It will take some time. But does Iran try and undercut that by maybe coming back to the negotiation table? We heard the president say, and other sources report, that Ali Larijani, who is arguably in control right now, say that he wanted to do that. He came out and denied that. But you could see a play if they were smart, although they've never missed an opportunity to make a mistake. Them coming down and saying, "Hey, we're ready to negotiate on nuclear issues and willing to give it up." I doubt that, but that would be a play that could short circuit some of the broader ambitions of taking down the conventional military and forestall any type of uprising by the Iranian people.
Secretary,
so that's kind of that's one possibility here in the coming days.
It is a very, very interesting situation in terms of literally calling for regime change, not just wanting that to be your mission and then, potentially not quite talking about it, but literally coming on camera and saying the hope is for regime change, but also we're going to try to do that without putting boots on the ground. I don't know if that can be done. Yeah. I'm going to try to stay focused on what I can have an impact on, which is hopefully just studying companies that, might have some alpha. That is the hope. Let's see here. Was there commentary from Tom Lee recently on buying more Ethereum this morning? Let's see. Was Tom Lee just on? Can I get that? Okay, let's listen to Tom Lee this morning. Talk about markets, crypto. Let's jump in.
Joining us now, Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisor, Head of Research, and a CNBC contributor. Could be down, obviously, a lot more Straits of Hormuz maybe in play at this point. In past incidents like this, and every single time it's happened, we've always said, well, in past incidents, it never lasts that long, and decisions that are made about whether staying in or getting out of a market, normally standing pat has been the right move.
That's right. I mean, nobody likes to see headlines and the images of explosions and war. And so we know risk premium jumps. That's why the VIX jumps. But it's not really going to change the fundamentals of the US. So in the past, markets kind of sell off into the buildup, and then they tend to do better once the battle begins. And I think this is going to be similar.
We got to watch across the board, obviously, gold and the yield curve, but as in oil, obviously oil, but it won't affect us in the economy at this point. But I guess there's a scenario where down the road it could, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of experts are going to worry that this could, encompass a larger conflict. Something that would be, World War III or something.
Right.
But in the absence of that, I think the worst of the sell-off is going to happen this week. And, I would expect actually March to be an up month for the stock market.
What about the price of oil, which has been such a huge benefit, lower prices of oil to the economy, to the consumer? I realize that we are self-sufficient, but a lot of other countries aren't. If you look at China, if you look at India, Japan, is there a point that it gets more expensive? And if it gets more expensive for China, that is then exported to the rest of the world?
Yeah, I mean, oil's going to create a price shock because oil, it ends up so much in the economic supply chain.
Even what we produce here is going for 72 now. So it doesn't matter whether, we got plenty of it, but oil companies are obviously going to reap some benefits. But consumers, this will filter through in a time when we're still inflation phobic, I think.
That's right. In the past, oil shocks are actually more at risk of maybe tipping a weak economy into recession.
And that's not where we are.
Yeah. And so I think instead of thinking the Fed would be hawkish, I think the Fed might be dovish on a spike in oil.
This market is not doing things that you didn't think it might do at the beginning of the year. And it had nothing to do with what the developments of the past week. Block. That makes people think AI is, maybe we're underestimating, unless this is the same guy that had 3 times as many at Dorsey, 3 times as many employees at Twitter as was necessary to run that outfit. So I don't know whether you paint a broad stroke about AI with what happened there, or whether this is a one-off. I tend to think we better get used to this, no?
Yeah. I mean, I know many companies that are rolling out AI workers. Even at Fundstrat, we are deploying these agents and, treating them as if they're employees. But I think we're still unsure whether or not this will ultimately create more jobs or not.
And AI is killing will kill a lot of companies. And AI itself, the killer is, you could say, had such a run that it is at least richly valued.
Yeah. And, at least in the case of the software stocks broadly, the entire complex kind of has fallen back to where they were last April. To me, that's clearly an overreaction. So I think it makes sense that you'd start to see some of the groups that got hit hard mean revert, including the Mag 7.
So I think someone else made that point, that maybe the leaders in building out AI, maybe they stay where they are and stabilize, but maybe you get a rebound from some of the oversold things.
Yeah.
So you think we're getting to the point now where the initial weakness you saw in the markets, we're making a bottom at some point? What'd you say will be up for March?
Yeah, I think March is going to likely be an up month. I know it doesn't feel like that because of the way the end of February felt, but
comes in like a bear, goes out like a bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably comes in with the better weather. But, the things like software, the Mag 7 and the crypto all had early weakness. They're all probably in the final stages or have already bottomed. And I think that helps lead us up to an up April.
Have you woken up in the middle of the night and looked at where Ethereum is and said, I can't go back to sleep?
No.
Yeah, not worried yet?
No, because, Ethereum, there's the fundamentals, like what's happening. So much is being built on Ethereum now. I mean, almost every major announcement of a tokenized fund is being built on Ethereum.
Does that translate to supply and demand dynamics that make the price go up, though? Or can you just keep building out all these networks at 1900?
I mean, that would be like someone saying all this activity is happening in the United States, but the economy shouldn't boom,
Yeah.
So if it's all taking place on Ethereum, then price follows. But we are in a crypto winter, so price doesn't matter. Capital is looking at gold and silver and ways of, hard assets. But that isn't always going to be the case.
I'd read you buying more Ethereum on the dip. How much more? And does that continue today?
Yes. So Bitmain's been buying about $50,000 or about $100 million of Ethereum every week, but the cash balance has grown to over 800 million. So it's able to, at the right moment, make a major buy of Ethereum. So I think we're getting ready for the crypto bottom. But we're still buying about 100 million a week.
All right.
It's not quite, I don't think, $100 million a week. Maybe it's accelerated to 100 million. But here, let's see. Their purchases, yeah, I mean, it got as low as 20 million, 12 million, 86 million. Now we're about 100 million again. Yeah. But they were doing, 1 billion, 600 million, 800 million, 900 million. Like, it was a lot more back in the day. Let's see. Something's wrong with his eyebrows. I don't even know. I can't even picture what his eyebrows look like. I just know the hair, Okay. Let's quickly see this OpenAI deal. I mean, there's probably not any new information. I don't even think we need to watch this. We already know what happened. They swooped in. They got the deal. I think that this company is going to be around for an extremely long period of time. I said this on a midstream this morning. OpenAI is going to survive. The idea of calling for their bankruptcy or saying that you don't like the business or whatever, I mean, like, it's completely fruitless. They are going to be a massive company, a large buyer of NVIDIA products. Call them Scam Altman. I saw someone say Scam Ant-Man today. Yeah, perfectly acceptable. Call them what you want. This will be one of the largest companies in the world. They just raised at 110, or they just raised not at 110. They raised $110 billion. Hard to go bankrupt with one of the largest war chests in the world now, even if you are burning $20 to $30 billion a year. How do you like Take-Two seems to hold up after the initial downfall and GTA coming out in 7 months? I don't think about Take-Two at all. That's if it comes out in 7 months. We'll see. They've delayed it a bunch of times. And yeah. Blockbuster? OpenAI is Blockbuster? Is that what you're saying? I think quite the opposite. I think OpenAI is the Netflix, and there's going to be a lot of companies that end up going bankrupt because of OpenAI. We will see. You're right. Someone just said, whoa, the SPY. You're right. The SPY ended up seeing some green candles here. Let's check the Mag 7 names as well. NVIDIA up 3%, 182. Microsoft up 1.8. Meta up 1.1%. Apple up 0.6. It's so funny. Apple strikes a deal to work on Siri will be powered by Google, and they'll also be using Google Cloud servers. And Google's the one that's down, and Apple is the one that's up. Let's give our head a shake here. But that's all right. By the way, I didn't even check my sleep score this morning. What was it? I don't feel like I've gotten a great sleep. Never mind. I got a great sleep. Okay. I swear that sounds like I set this up. I did not. I did not even feel. I've been stuttering a lot today. That's a quick 94, baby. But you know why though? The sleep consistency, going to bed at the same time, that's killing it here. Just blowing away numbers. If I would have guessed, I thought it was a more like an 85 type day. But that's also why you need to kind of like, you know, trust your own body here. Okay. Is that the Whoop or Aura? Well, I mean, it definitely says Whoop. There's a big Whoop thing. Massive thing that says Whoop right there. Yeah. Do you work at all or self-employed? I guess you can say self-employed. I don't even like saying self-employed. I'm unemployed. I'm unemployed, but like I said at the beginning of the stream, we're getting our first employee, ladies and gentlemen. Probably April 1st is whenever you'll see someone come on. I don't want to announce it just in case if I end up changing my mind in terms of who it might be. But yeah, I actually just checked my email. I saw a couple of you people reaching out in terms of getting hired. But yeah, we'll see. Tanner's going to be a boss. I don't even like that term. I'm not going to be a boss. I want a partnership. Like I want somebody who's going to be a big part of the company. And then hopefully whenever we end up doing, it's not Steve, it's not anyone you guys know. It's actually the person that I have in mind is a lifelong friend who has would be a great fit into the community. But you guys have not met him yet. But you will. I think he's going to be like my young Jamie to the show. That could be a lot of fun. When I worked at HEB, they gave employees stock every year so you don't get called an employee, they're partners. Yeah, well, I'll need to figure that out. Sounds like you're getting a boyfriend. That's funny. Bring Riley back. Yeah. It's not a partner unless you're giving them equity. That's fair. That's fair. Well, I'll see what I can do. It's all new to me, right? Like even the idea of giving someone stock or paying someone and covering their, withholding taxes and doing all that stuff that you have to do, at least in Canada. Like all of that is brand new to me. I've never done any of it. I'm here to learn. I've never really took a managerial, role in my history, at least in terms of that. Like I've had MAs and stuff like this for, back whenever I was a financial advisor, but that was like, there was a company that paid their checks and stuff like this. I would just send them the work. So I've never done that. But the new guy's getting SoFi. Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I told him because obviously, like we know each other pretty well, but I don't think he watches the channel, like in terms of like following that. But I told him I was like, you're just gonna have to get used to the community. Like, just watch the live streams. He might be watching right now. I don't know, but yeah. Once I introduce you guys to him, it'll be really, really cool. And then hopefully in the August meetup that in Toronto, that he will be there and all you guys will get to meet him. You have, dude. I'm not kidding, Gonzo. I was like, do I include that? Like, I'll give him a whoop, like as part of a benefit. I just also include a whoop. Like, because I can't have me talking about my sleep and he doesn't also follow. I mean, like, we gotta be getting our sleep scores up. I mean, the guy that I have in mind is going to fit very well in, like, super smart guy, works out all the time, cares about his health. Like we see eye to eye a ton. Okay. I got a Whoop inspired by you, Tanner. Thanks. Wish me luck. Good luck, brother. Is Tanner gay asking for a friend? Oh, I can answer that. No. I've got a long-term girlfriend. But she goes to another school, so you don't even, don't even worry about it. You guys will meet her one day, but not, she... Whoop is poop, get an Aura ring. Yeah, I know, but like, have you ever like picked up a like a bar or anything? Like, I don't want a ring. Rings are scary. I like, people get degloved with rings. I don't like rings at all. Yeah. But is it? Oh no. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a couple stream. Tanner's girlfriend, Steve's wife, Amit's boyfriend. I didn't even read that. Before I brought that up, I swear I didn't even see that. But that will never happen. Okay. Bro, I'm getting married. I didn't want a ring because it's expensive. You can ruin your finger. But I guess I'll keep it at home. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, maybe I'll have to get like I don't know, a whoop wedding band or something. Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna get going. Really appreciate your time. Hope you guys are all doing well. Exciting times for this channel, and hopefully we succeed, but yeah, struggles along the way. I literally can't wait. Like, I'm actually excited for all of it. Like, this was my dream my entire life, was to run a business and have a team and take on all that extra stress that comes with it. But the stress is not really impacting my sleep too much, which is nice. 94, not too bad. Anything that's above 90, or anything really above 85, I'm super happy. If it's ever lower than 85, I actually get upset. Love you guys. Peace. Bye for now.